Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to some more GTA 5, where today we are going to drive terribly and crash. That was great timing. And today we're going to be checking out two more law-friendly vehicles. My driving is absolutely terrible today. So let's just have a look at what we're doing today. So we're actually going to be looking at this, the Sultan Wagon. This is sadly not a real thing, not in GTA Online. This is a mod. However, it is very cool and we are able to modify this and all this sort of stuff. Because before, the only other Sultan versions that we've seen have been, I think, a Ute and a shooting brake version. I think there might have been another one. But this is basically a four-door Sultan estate car or wagon, depending on what part of the world you're from. And so I thought in today's video we'd check out this and also the RS version of the wagon, and we'd do a couple of builds and see what they look like and maybe start some, let's be honest, and let's just have some fun and make some nice cars. So before we get into anything else, there's going to be some comments on the screen. These are comments featured from the previous video. If you would like your comments featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter at Figureight, links to my Twitter in the description below. Also Instagram _Figureight, links for that in the description below. And as you guys noticed, I didn't do an international foreign language intro at the start of this video. I know you guys have been suggesting them in the comments of the previous couple of videos. Hopefully you guys can just keep that coming. I'm going to start making a list very soon and then I'll start putting those into the videos. But I'm just trying to build a list at the moment because actually quite a few of the languages that have been suggested I've already done in previous videos, which makes me think that I might have to start just doubling up and retrying some languages I've already given a shot on other videos in case you guys have missed that. But anyway, let's jump in to this video and check out this Sultan Wagon. Now I think on this bridge, there we go, just here, we can actually pull in and not get hit by any cars. So let's just go to menus mod. That's not the right button. I'm using blank keycaps at the moment, so I'm slightly missing the keys. When I touch type, it's fine, but when I have to look at a key and press a number, especially with gaming, it's a pain. I'll get used to it. So let's just go to repair vehicle on menu, and let's jump out and go to our camera mod. And here you can see, here is the wagon. Now this is actually really nicely designed in my opinion. A lot of the times when you see mods where they've tried to make a wagon version out of something, they've just sort of just stuck a square back on it with a square window or whatever. This one actually looks like it could genuinely be an estate car version of the Sultan that Rockstar would have made. And it's quite interesting that Rockstar haven't really made an estate version, considering this is supposed to be based on like, well, part Evo, part Subaru. The wagons are still pretty popular with the Subaru Imprezas, so you would have thought that, or even the Legacy, although this isn't really based much on the Legacy, but you would have thought that Rockstar would have made an estate version by now. And it makes you think that maybe in the future on extra DLCs they might do that? I'm not entirely sure. But here we have the Sultan estate car. Now there are a couple of panel gaps going on there. I don't know whether that's something, is that not where it's damaged? No, it has been repaired, but there is a couple of little gaps, but that's fine, doesn't really matter. And that is the extent, really, of the wagon. So basically, we're just having some new styles of Sultan that we haven't seen before for any of you estate car lovers out there. So actually, whilst we're here, let's just tune this first one up on the bridge. So let's go to vehicle options. Let's go to menus customs. Now, there are a couple of pieces on this stock one. The RS one is, of course, highly modifiable, but this stock version doesn't really have much going on for it at the moment, because currently the spoilers just, well, they're actually for the normal Sultan and not this version. So on the front bumper, we have the options of the stock, the custom lip, and we also have this one with the intercooler. Let's just go for the custom splitter one. We won't make this super crazy. And we also will have the carbon rear diffuser. That might be a bit much. We'll just go with stock for now. Then on the skirts, we also have skirts 1, just adds a little bit down the bottom in black. On the exhaust, we have just the titanium tuner exhaust, which actually I have a feeling you might have to couple that with, yeah, okay, we do actually have to couple those two together, so why not, let's do that. Then on the chassis we have the roll cage and chassis upgrade, which actually bugs out because we now have this floating RS sign, which should actually be stuck to the boot lid of a normal Sultan, so we'll have to ignore that. Then on the hood, just a few options, very basic, just these ones, as you guys all know, from the Sultan, so I might as well just go for something like that. And on the roof, we have the sunstrip works perfectly fine. Then we have engine, brakes, transmission, suspension. Let's just go ahead, slam that down. Let's just have a nice, I'm not going to stance this one. I'm going to sort of leave that to the crazy Sultan RS. Let's just get this looking nice and respectable. Might as well go ahead and change the color as well. And actually, now that I've changed the color, you can see where the second color is based. We've got a line that goes all the way down there, and also on the bonnet and roof and boot as well. So I'm actually just going to go full frost white across the board, because I don't think this is going to look right with the black. It looks a little off to me. Yeah, that's just too much, especially with the sun strip. I'm definitely going to have to get rid of that as well, I think. Not a fan of sun strips. On the extras, we actually have a few extras. Extra 1 is the number plate, if you wanted to go for a number plateless look on the rear. Does tidy it up a bit, but does look a bit too plain. This is actually the problem I have with debadging cars most of the time. When you get rid of the badging, it just looks too plain. I actually like badges on cars. Not too many, just the right amount. And again with plates, actually, that's a bit too smooth and a bit too minimalist look. So it makes sense to have the plate there anyway. We're on the road. We also have this one, which just has the 13 Stuart C's customs badge on top of the thing. Of course, 13 Stuart C is the person who's made this mod. And then the other 2 extras are actually just the cup holders, as you can see there. And by the way, here's the interior. We didn't actually look at the interior. It's pretty much the Sultan. So, I mean, you guys know what this looks like by now. So also, whilst we're here, we might as well check out to see how this boot lid works before we go any further. So let's just go to door control. Let's go to trunk. Ah, look at that. Lovely jubbly. The boot works perfectly fine. Well, there we are. I think actually what I might just do is get some nicer wheels and just bring them out just a little bit closer to the arch. Again, I'm not going to stance it. I just want to make it look a bit more respectable. And these wheels look a bit too tucked in right now. So here we are, something like these. These just look like sort of like cheap rotor wheels almost. In fact, these ones are quite fancy. Let's go for these ones. I think these are quite nice and neutral. Actually, quite similar to the wheels I've got on my car in real life. There's definitely a few similarities there. And we'll make the wheels carbon black. And I won't go ahead and change all the wheel sizes. I just want to really just make them poke out a little bit more. We don't even need to slam it really. I think this is a decent, fair height. So there we go. Bring the rear track width out to a respectable level around there. I think is fine. And then the same with the front. Right there. That's fine. That looks nice. Actually could tuck it in just a little bit more to make it look a bit more usable. And there we are with our basic Sultan estate. So I guess now that build is finished and it's time to move on to the Sultan RS, because I want to make that one look a bit more crazy. This one's pretty neutral, but I don't know, let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this the sort of, if you had this Sultan RS, would yours be nice and simple like this? Do you reckon this looks good? I'm a bit unsure of the rear bumper, and actually the titanium exhaust, never a fan of those, but generally this colour with these wheels, I actually think it looks really nice. But let's move on to something a bit more crazy with the Sultan RS. And here we are with the Sultan RS next to our classic Sultan. Look at them. They both look amazing. I actually really like the look of this with the white and the dark black wheels. I think it's just really simple and nice. But here we have the much meaner, the much wider Sultan RS estate version right here. Let's just go for a little drive and enjoy the sounds of the Sultan RS, which is definitely my favorite, one of my favorite sounds of cars from GTA. I remember, maybe you guys remember too, from GTA 4, we used to find the Sultan RS. Was it actually called the RS in GTA 4? I think it was the Sultan RS that was hidden behind the house on the 3rd section. I think it's right to call it the 3rd island, was it? I don't know. GTA 4 for some reason has completely like just escaped my brain for some reason. I think I've just been playing GTA 5 for so damn long now. I mean, GTA 4 has been out for a long time, because GTA 5 has been out for a long time. Rockstar really got slow with bringing out new GTAs. This is getting slower and slower. But I remember on GTA 4, get the Sultan RS from that. What the hell? That is, what the hell is that made out of? Okay, that one works. That's ridiculous. And I used to drive that car around. The sound was absolutely amazing. Best sounding car in GTA 4 by far. And actually, I feel like even in GTA 5, this and probably like that crazy hyper supercar race car thing that just has that like screaming engine. I think that's probably my 2 favorite engine sounds. Let me know what you think actually about what's your favorite engine sound from a car in GTA 5. I'd love to know. But just to let you guys know, it's a mix between the Sultan RS and this. I just love the sound of this thing. Absolutely amazing. But that's not what we're covering in today's video. So let's jump back over to the Sultan RS wagon. Right, so let's go ahead and repair vehicle, because we smashed that up a good and trying to get in here. And let's go to menus, customs. Of course, this is a full Sultan RS, so we've got all the stuff in Benny's Lowrider mods. There's a lot to get through, but you already know most of the mods for this car. So let's just start off with the ones that are going to be new, and that's going to be the spoilers. So this one does actually have some working spoilers. We have the stock, we have the mid-level spoiler, which has this bit onto the top, quite thick and chunky actually, and also this lip down on the bottom. Then we have, apparently it's called the Painted Classic RS Wing. I think these names are definitely wrong. So actually the second one just adds the bit on the top. It sort of looks like a quiff. Sort almost like Johnny Bravo quiff sort of thing going on. And then we have the next one, which is just the lip down the bottom instead. Whoa! Okay. We have this thing, which I like that the name is Short Lip Spoiler. Yeah, that works. This absolutely ginormous spoiler. Look at the size of that thing. Okay, that is insane. And then we have this one, just a taller styled lip one down the bottom here. Then we have this even taller one that's been welded on, riveted on, I guess is the right word. Not sure if actually, I think that might have been from the original Sultan RS as well, because these do say bolt on ducktail, so those ones are definitely from the original. And then, oh my god, we have the drag spoiler, which also has this bracing going on to the top of the roof as well, and in carbon fiber as well. That thing is huge. So actually, because you guys know the deal with the Sultan RS, the rest of the mods for this car you guys already know. So I'm actually going to turn this into a speed build. I'm actually going to do just a couple of speed builds just for some different styles of Sultan RS wagon. So shall I start off with a crazy racing one? I don't know. Let's just build it and see what happens. Okay, and here we are with the completed thing. This is definitely unlike a build I've done before. I feel like, especially with this color, I've just fallen in love with this color option scheme going on right now. I'll explain it in a second. But I've basically gone for what is supposed to be like a proper race build, like something you would see on a track. I mean, I'm not sure how useful that rear spoiler is. It looks way too high, but that might just be me. But there's just something about this. It's definitely not street built. I mean, it has also got the cage. This one, you can have the cage in it without the sort of broken badging on it. We've also got all the racing seats. We just sort of zoom out and jump in. You can see that we also have this carbon fiber interior. We've got all the racing steering wheel. I've gone for all of that. I didn't bother with changing stuff under the bonnet because whatever. And we've gone for this modified bonnet. We've got for all the turbo fan intercooler things. Gone for the sort of hold front and rear bumpers as well. And I've also got rid of the number plate as well. Oh, that's a bit awkward. Just noticing that you can't see the roof from the inside. That's strange. Okay, we'll try and ignore that. It looks better from this down angle. But yeah, I have got rid of that number plate as well, seeing I wanted it to be a race car. And this paint is supposed to be worn graphite. And when I was changing the color, I noticed that this car had spawned in with like a blue pearl added. And it looked really awesome, and I went through and I figured, seems I've gone for these gold wheels, why don't I have like a sort of orangey gold flip on the graphite? And it turned out like this, and I actually really like how it looks. Maybe you guys hate it. I mean, it's definitely not the right paint color for a racing car. You'd think that would be glossy, you know, easy to manage, easy to deal with paint, but I don't know. I think that looks amazing. I mean, I could have actually kept this paint and used it for the second build, which I feel like would have better suited this sort of crazy color scheme. I'm wondering if I should do that, actually. Maybe I should. Let me revise this build slightly. Okay, so I've toned it back a bit, and I've gone for this dark blues. I don't think it's a color I use often. Again, maybe I should have gone for a brighter one because it's a race car, but do you know what? Whatever. I think this looks really awesome, and I've also just really gone into V-Stancer, and I've just pushed the wheels out to the arches, because I went for some slightly wider arches on this one as well. And there we are, with that build completed. This thing is absolutely mad. And also I went for all the tuning options and I spec this thing out so it's nice and fast now, as it would be with a modified RS. So what I want to do for the last one is to make the show car, is to make the stanced out crazy style one. So I guess we should just go ahead and do that. Let's give it a go. Okay, and here we are with the second build. Again, as you can see, I decided to go for the, instead of graphite, I went for black. And it's just got this gold flip on it. I've definitely gone for darker colors with this one. I guess it seems we had really light with white with the first one. I figured we'll have two dark ones to finish. This thing is definitely supposed to be a show car. I wished I could have kept the grille, but for some reason the grille disappeared somewhere along the line, and I don't know what caused it, so I stuck a giant, huge intercooler in there. I've gone for quite simple looking bumpers as well. I didn't go for the slightly wider arches like we had on this one, because as you'll notice, they actually stick out a bit too far, so I didn't like how they looked. I liked it be all nice and flush and whatever. Seems this stance is going to sort of like focus on the arches. I wanted to make sure they looked right. And then we've gone for this nice sort of like riveted spoiler on the back. And we've also gone for this Showtime bonnet. Seems like I said this was going to be a show car. And I've also got matching paint on the engine, which I think looks just amazing. And then again, I've gone for these seats. I always go for these just because they're the highest quality in my opinion. The other ones just look a little bit crappy. Sadly, we don't really have any better options for bucket seats, so I always normally go for these ones because they just look cleaner. And then we've got a rather simple looking modified dashboard with a simple steering wheel, simple looking dials and all that sort of stuff going on. And there is our second finished build. I want you guys to let me know. Of course, there is starts as well. I'm sure you guys can notice. Also, actually, I forgot to note, these wheels are from the custom law-friendly wheels mod, but these are based on the original Sultan RS wheels. They're just bigger. And so that's why I went with these. So I've gone for these that are bigger, and I've winded them in V-Stancer, and I've gone for some camber front and rear all to match. And there we are, and I've crashed it. Oh, and you can also see my purple pulleys that we got in there as well. Let's go to vehicle options and repair. There we go, that's better. And that is our build completed. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below, which one of these cars do you like? Maybe you like all three of them, maybe you like none of them, maybe you like some of them. I'm actually quite a fan of the white one, really. It wasn't too crazy, it wasn't too out there, but it was just a nice sort of like, you could imagine yourself owning that sort of car. It wouldn't cost loads of money, you wouldn't need all this fancy paint work and all this sort of stuff. It just looked pretty cool. But there we go. That is it for this video. If you've enjoyed this video, please let me know. Rating, commenting, and subscribing. As always, can I actually get out this way instead of going around the barrier? Oh, that's useful. Oh, it's a little bit off. Okay, maybe I just have to drive through like that. Okay, that works. Well, that guy got angry at me and started chasing me. Right, there we are. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. I'm not going to land it. I'm not going to land it. That's not even a completed stunt. That was just terrible. Well, I'm now stuck. Goodbye.